Episode 8, Crawler Commanders. So it looks like they've set up camp in this, I think she said the southern hemisphere of Loth-wolf.
Well, I can boost the power, but not enough to overcome the Empire's jamming signal. They're blocking all non-Imperial transmissions.
We have to find a way to make contact with Hera.
If she made it past the blockade.
She made it, and she'll convince Rebel Command to launch an attack. We need to be ready to help.
How? Look, I want to fight, but the Empire's got thousands of troops. We are hiding in a cave, with no ships, no supplies, and a couple of blasters.
We've done a lot more with a lot less. There's a way, and we'll find it.
What now?
I can't make contact outside the planet, but I'm picking up something transmitting nearby.
How close?
Close enough to take a look.
I think I saw some of those burning through the grasslands up north.
Yeah, they strip-rigged the surface for raw materials to feed the
Oh,
Imperial
look at that.
And they've burned all the way down here? That's halfway across the planet.
Yeah, but that shit might be just what we need.
So it's the mining guild
You
that's
might be more than you
doing
know,
this to
Dad.
the planet.
That crawler is equipped with a long-range communications array.
One that can reach Hera?
I'm almost sure of it.
It's the mining guild that's doing this to the planet, so that's interesting. So they must have a deal with the Empire.
Based upon data provided by Captain Sedula, the TIE Defender Elite possesses speed, weapons, and shields superior to any fighter in our
Wow.
fleet.
Can we destroy it?
In single ship-to-ship combat, unlikely. Our analysts have
Don't
yet to
die.
find a weakness in its design.
If we can't find a way to fight this thing, it's
Bizail.
imperative we prevent it from being mass-produced. I request permission to lead an attack squadron back to Loth-wolf to destroy that factory.
Considering the Empire's defenses and our limited attack capability, I'm not sure now is the right time.
We can't afford to wait. I have a group standing by on the ground ready to aid any mission.
What about the blockade and Admiral Thrawn?
Your evidence is persuasive, Captain, but we'll need time to discuss further action. Perhaps it's best you wait outside.
Sabine, you're up.
Sabine, you so mean.
I've got movement. Yep, Mining Guild security droid.
Ooh, nice, Sabine. Uh-oh. Ooh. That's my girl, Sabine. One hit a quitter.
I like that song.
Hello there.
It's the same song they were playing last season. Uh-oh.
Sabine, shut off that alarm.
Oh, come on. Yes.
Stick around, Captain.
You have any idea who you're messing with?
The Mining Guild, we know.
Guild Control to Crawler 413-24. You've activated your distress beacon and ceased output. Is there a problem? You copy. Over.
You're done, thieving scoundrels.
Ezra, this one.
Oh, Lord, no, not Ezra, man.
Be my guest.
No.
Sorry, the crawler has malfunctioned. Is that what I sound like?
Is this operator 94-34? You sound different.
I'm sick. Pirates, help!
Crawler 413-24, repeat.
Sorry,
engine flare. Part of the malfunction. We're fixing it. Liars!
Put that.
Liars!
Thank you.
We are sending a technical crew over to assist. Stand by.
Negative. Control. We can make repairs ourselves. Do you copy? Over.
That's awful.
That could have gone better.
I thought it was pretty good.
That was awful.
Just make sure the captain stays quiet and let's get to work. We don't have much time.
There's a signal coming from the rear section of the crawler.
Zeb and I'll check it out. As soon as Sabine gets that comm working, contact Hera. And watch him.
Or do something with that dude.
Finally! My friends have come to rescue me!
Visago?
I told the others how the Empire banished me to this monstrosity for helping you rebels. But I knew you would not leave me here to rot.
Right.
I told them the foreman would be no match for a Jedi.
Foreman?
Oh, wow.
Let's hope you're right.
Damn.
Drop the whip and step away from my friend, you knuckle-brained lizard.
Come on, Zeb. Man. The power driver, not power driver, suplex. I'm a little rusty on my wrestling terminology. Ooh. Ooh. Oh. Man. Damn.
I'm coming, Zeb. Hang on!
Man. Ooh. Uh-oh. Damn, come on.
Come on.
Come on, Kanan, where you at, bro? Come on, Kanan. Man. Oh.
You're really heavy.
Come on, just use the force. Help him up.
Still no decision.
They don't trust me.
It isn't that. The TIE Defender isn't our only problem. The Empire has some new plan, as evidenced by Protocol 13.
Never heard of it.
It is the immediate evacuation of all Imperial personnel from an occupied planet.
An order like that should only confirm our worst fears. And we're too afraid to do anything about it.
Wow.
Captain Syndulla, this is a closed-door council.
Senator, if I may, I know the odds are against this attack's success. But if that fighter goes into production, our squadrons will not stand a chance. I believe it's a risk worth taking, and whether we fail or succeed, at least our actions will show the Empire and the galaxy that we will not stand down, that we will not be broken by fear, that we are strong, united by our courage. Now is our time to strike.
Hera.
What is this?
Freedom!
Visago? I don't believe it.
What? Oh, now I see. You did not come here to rescue me. Betrayed! Oh, I knew I should have given you up.
Yeah, well, we're here now.
And we are rescuing you.
Guys, get up here. I've got 2 targets closing fast.
Uh-oh.
Those aren't mining guild vehicles.
No, it's the Empire.
slave master.
Just put the helmet on.
Right, I guess.
Vizago, into the captain's chair.
Stay out of my chair! The demons of Gazco, I hope this works.
What are you looking at? Get working.
Can't get good help these days.
Squad 2, sweep the lower decks. The rest of you, with me. Step aside, Captain.
All right. Let me show you our output data logs. They aren't nearly as boring as you would think. If you'd like a full inspection, I can give you one. It shouldn't take longer than a couple of hours.
You may have that kind of time, but we do not. Now get this crawler operational.
Of course. I was just going to do that.
Squad, move out.
But we have a problem. Where's Captain 93-94? He got loose.
Guys, I think I've got it. Transmitting to Hera now.
That doesn't sound good.
Transmitter's lost power.
I told you not to mess with me. You may have duped those Imperial suckers, but you won't fool the Mining Guild.
That sneaky little lizard.
How'd he get a comm?
He's on the crawler's intercom, and he sabotaged power to the long-range transmitter.
Patch me through to the Empire, or I will destroy this crawler, you pirate scum.
Well, then we need someone capable of navigating those ventilation shafts.
Uh-oh. Ezra, your time.
Oh, no. I am not going in there.
It's a ventilation shaft. It's what
That's
you
what
do.
you do, Ezra.
If Vizago can fool Empire, Jedi can climb into shaft.
I don't do this anymore. I'm here. Oh, he shut down the reactors all right.
Okay, to turn them back on, find the primary power console.
I saw something underneath. Yeah, there he is. Whoa.
This is my crawler, Rebel. I work for the Guild, just as he who spawned me, and as my spawn will after me.
Come on, Ezra, how'd you lose him? Dang. Ezra. Come on, man. You're a Jedi, bro.
Watch out.
Oh, Disney. But I understand. He would have normally just cut him down with one stroke of the saber. But instead, it's easier to have him slip on the lightsaber and fall into the reactor.
We made a believer out of you,
But it's
Jet
fine.
Rider?
It's a kid show.
You're good.
Happy to hear from you guys. And good timing. Rebel Command has authorized the attack. Fighters are being fueled and bombers loaded.
The attack? It's happening?
We're launching our assault on the next rotation. I told Mon Mothma you'll coordinate the ground
Hera's
assault.
coming back, and she's bringing
You can count on us.
her army with her. All right. So next week's episode should be really, really good, guys. All right, guys. So a couple of really good, decent episodes there. Really enjoyed the first episode, Kindred. Even though we didn't get a full explanation on the wolves and the connection to Kanan, but we did get a very cool. We got a little bit more on the wolves and some acknowledgement that the wolf was actually speaking about Kanan when he said doom, and he didn't mean like the doom end of the world, end of Lothal type of deal. So very, very cool, but we still have to explore what the connection is between Kanan and the wolves. As I had mentioned during my reaction, there is a very interesting theory the Force Within channel has presented. I believe one of his subscribers presented a theory to him. And I'm going to go ahead and present that theory for you guys here right now. And I apologize because I do not know the subscriber's name, but I do know that the Force Within presented this particular theory, and I'm going to present it to you guys now. The theory is that if you look at the makeup of the natives of Lothal, they have a Indian look to them. Now, this is reference to Kanan's master, Deepa Bil Alba, I believe is the correct pronunciation for her name. She also has this Indian look to her, Mid-Eastern Indian look to her. If you look at Ezra's makeup and the makeup of his parents, they also tend to have this Indian look. So the theory goes that Kanan's master has some connection to Lothal. And somehow she is connected to the wolves, and this is the connection between Kanan and the wolves, which is a very, very interesting, very, very cool episode there. I really enjoyed that. So obviously we see that Lothal, we've returned back to Lothal. There is some type of connection between our band of rebels and Lothal. Kanan is sensing this. However, again, that wasn't fully revealed here. As Kanan had mentioned, all paths are coming together now, and we are kind of seeing that. We're touching upon each one of these paths, but we have yet to find out where they're all going and where they all connect to. And then, of course, we also got a very good look at Rook, and he's a formidable opponent. I think he's a great threat to the rebels. Of course, he did not capture the rebels, and we didn't get a chance to see a good battle between him and Zeb. However, transitioning to our second episode, which is the Crawler Commanders, this episode, very cool battle between Zeb and a Tevan, which is basically the same species as Bossk, as they are fighting and kicking each other, wrestling around. So very, very cool little battle right there. However, some of us were kind of looking forward to that battle between Zeb and Rook. However, we may get that in a later episode. Continuing on with Commander Crawlers, we start off actually in the village that they've come to, this quiet part, south region of Lothal, which hasn't been touched from all of the burning and destruction that's been going on Lothal. And so Sabine is able to locate a signal. This signal leads them to this crawler. They go into the crawler. They attempt to take over the crawler. We have this crawler commander who is very mouthy, and they capture him, but he seems to escape. We have the Empire who comes along, figure out how to conceal their identity to the Empire and make it as if nothing is going on. We run into our man Vizago, who has now been a slave on this particular crawler. He also helps the rebels in concealing their identity there, and kind of trick the Empire, and the Empire goes along their way. However, they still have to deal with the crawler commander, who has now traveled in the vents in the crawler and is threatening to shut the crawler down. Ezra chases the crawler commander through the vents and eventually finds him. And what's very interesting, and as you guys saw there in my reaction, he could have easily struck the crawler commander down, which would have been cruel and a little dark, especially for a kid's show. However, he ends up losing his lightsaber. The crawler commander slips on the lightsaber and falls into the reactor, which is a very convenient way to kind of kill the character off without having Ezra be the reason why this particular character met its death. So, and I'm sure there's going to be quite a few complaints about that. However, again, we have to understand that this is a kid's show, and they do have to be careful on how they eliminate characters. They can't be too graphic, especially when you have one of the main characters tussling around with these throwaway characters that are able to get killed off. You don't want them to be cruel in the way that they dispatch these throwaway characters. So I totally understand that, but some of us adult viewers crave a little bit more brutality in our Star Wars, at least a PG-13 level brutality in our Star Wars. And but unfortunately, you're just not going to get that here on a Disney XD channel program. This particular episode was a little bit slower. It didn't really provide anything of any significance in regards to the Loth-wolf. The one thing it did provide us at the end of the episode, obviously, is Hera has convinced Command to launch an attack on Lothal. So we are going to obviously get to see a battle take place between the Empire and the rebels on Lothal, over Lothal. So there should be some really great action coming our way in the next episode, which I believe is a one standalone episode. I don't believe it's going to be another two-parter like we've been getting for the beginning part of this season. However, it should be a very action-packed episode, and usually we do get a slower episode just before the mid-season finale episode. So, and then of course the mid-season finale usually presents us with something very significant and something that we can kind of chew on for a little while until we get, boom, The Last Jedi premiering on I'm going to see it on the 14th of December. So that's going to be very, very cool. So, guys, I'm going to go ahead and score these two episodes. Now, I've been scoring both of these two-part episodes together as one. I'm going to continue to do that here today. So, I'm going to give this episode a 7.5 out of 10. I scored it a 7.5 out of 10 because the first episode, Kindred, was really, really good, and there was lots of action, and we got a little bit with the mystique of the wolves and a recognition of the connection between Kanan and the wolves, with Caleb Doom being what the wolf was referencing when it said Doom. So that was somewhat significant. And it now leads us or provides us with another question. What is Kanan's connection with the wolves? We'll have to see if the theory that the Force Within channel presented is correct and does come true. That would be very, very interesting if it is connected to Kanan's former master who sacrificed herself for Kanan. So we will have to see if that is the connection with the wolves. And so that particular episode really held the bulk of the score that I presented for this particular two-part episode. I really thought that was an excellent episode on its own. It might have been a 9.0, possibly maybe about a 9.0 on its own. However, the second episode, which is Crawler Commanders, it was a decent episode. I felt it was a little bit slower episode. It didn't push any of the arcs any further. I don't think we didn't get anything on the wolves. We did run into Vizago, which was nice, and we did get to see this crawler, which is always nice to see a new vehicle in the Star Wars universe. This massive crawler that they've now taken over, and then of course we did get the reveal at the end that the rebels are going to go ahead and launch an attack on Lothal in order to destroy the Defender factory. So that was the biggest reveal and biggest significance with that episode. So that particular episode on its own probably wouldn't be scored as high. I probably would have to give it maybe a 5.5, maybe a 6, possibly, if I was being kind. But I really didn't feel that particular episode held any significance other than the fact that we are going to get a battle, maybe somewhat of a significant battle in the next episode over Lothal. So guys, obviously what I always ask is, what are your thoughts? Did you enjoy these two episodes? Did you enjoy the Kindred episode? And what do you think is the connection between Kanan and the Loth-wolves? Are you buying the theory that the Force Within channel presented in regards to Kanan's master possibly having a connection to the wolves, and that is why the wolves are so interested in Kanan and saying the last name Doom. Also, did you feel that the second episode, the Crawler Commander episode, was a bit slower episode? What were your thoughts on that? And then, of course, what are your thoughts on now the Rebels going to Lothal, launching a battle to destroy the Defenders? Do you feel that we're going to get an action-packed episode for our mid-season finale episode? So, guys, put those comments down below. Please like and subscribe, and may the Force be with you always.